Hey guys, in this basic tutorial video, I'll be showing you how to make this liquid simulation. I'm basically going to do a brand new series where I'll be walking through all the basic simulations you can make in Houdini, all for beginners. So let's just get straight into it. So the first thing you should do is go to the bottom right, where it has this window here. Move your mouse over to the side, click Tab on your keyboard and just type Geo. That'll create a geometry folder. If you double click in this folder, and then first type box and create a box just here. As you can see in the left hand side, we have just created a box. The next thing to do is just increase the size. So we put 5, then 1, then 5. That'll create a little shape just like this. The next thing to do is type flip and create a flip container. That'll change the box to have some blue outline just like this. If you actually go into the viewport and click D on your keyboard, go over to background, and change light to dark, you'll be able to see this a lot better, and it'll just help with the entire simulation itself, just viewing it. So here we have the flip container. Whilst we're in this one, go to the top where it has particle separation, get rid of that and type 0.0. For now, we'll just do 0.03. At the minute, there is nothing else we need to do within this node. What we need to do is click Tab and type flip again. Navigate to flip collide. If you guys then hold shift, click each of these individual, output dots, and head over to the far left input of the flip collide node and just left click, and it will apply all the outputs to the inputs. So as you can still see, nothing is there. Don't worry about that for now. What we'll do is again click all 3 of those dots, holding shift. You can let go of shift and anything, so your mouse is just freely moving just like this. Then click Tab, type flip again, and navigate to flip solver. Just like so. Well, again, there is nothing there. Don't worry, just head over to waterline, then click waterline. And voila, here we are. We have a flip simulation. Well, for now, this is the start of a flip simulation. So what I want you guys to do is to click Tab again and type test, space, and it's the second input, crag. Click on that, drag that on, so we have a little person just right here. Well, he's not little, he's quite a big character. He's a big, was he stone character or something? But what I want you guys to do is also, whilst this is being viewed with the blue icon on the right, head over to the box and click the second from the right. It's a little pink icon. You can see the outline of the box. Click on the box just like so, where it's highlighted yellow. Head over to this little handle over here where it has XYZ. It'll come up with a red box just like so. What I want you guys to do is move it to the end. So what we're going to do, if you're probably going to have the full simulation, it's about 350 frames. So in the bottom right, just down here, you can change the frames on the right to be 350 and it will change it for everything. So then move the timeline all the way across. Actually, there is perfect because that's where he hit. So then what you should do is move the entire box all the way to the end, just like so. You can also move it back to here and maybe just decrease it so it starts a bit closer to him. This will save a lot of memory and RAM in the long run. So with the test geometry, go to the output of it, drag it to the flip collide node into the new collisions geometry, into the empty little circle just there. Then click on to view the flip solver. Head over to visualization and click show geometry, or show collision, sorry. And if you'd like to make the particles visualization a bit better, you can turn points as spheres off so it just looks like little points just like so. Also, another little tip, click D again on your keyboard, head over to geometry, and it says display particles as, go to pixels, and then close that down. If you guys want to as well, just for a little extra, if you click on that one, shift click just on that one, then click Tab and type merge node. Click on the visualization of the merge node, and as you can see, we have both of the flip simulation and the test geometry. But as you can see, it is currently not aligned, so we're going to have to fix that. So if we head over to the flip solver, go to the waterline, and drag that up just slightly. Oh, not that much. Let me just get this up. Let's just change it to a whole number 0.4. That should be good, just like so. So I've just done a quick viewport render, and this is the result of it. As you can see, the character is interacting with the liquid sim, but it just doesn't seem right. There's just not enough movement within the character. So, something to fix that. So, head over to the Flip Collide and over to the velocity scale and turn that up. I would say probably do 4. And then see what that looks like. And as you can see already, there is a lot more movement happening in the liquid. It's pretty much just bumping up the velocity of the character's movement within the liquid sim, giving it a bit more oomph. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. So if you guys would actually want to know how to do that viewport render, head into the bottom left. What it will come up with is this little screen right here. Don't need to click anything, just click start and it will start a little viewport render. Just like so. So it's pretty much what you could do is just let it play through, and then you click this play icon and it will like play it through. It will like keep looping and keep adding more frames on. It is pretty good. It's pretty handy to see what your simulations look like. Okie dokie. So what we're going to do is move on to the next bit. We are actually going to... Shall we do it? No. We'll leave the particle separation for now, but for our final export and the final cache, what I'm going to do is bump that up to probably 0.015, but we'll leave that for now. So the next step in this simulation is getting a file cache node. So type file cache after you click tab. I'm just going to rename this to be flip simulation, just so it does like that, and we'll change it from constructed to explicit. What I'm also going to do is find a location for it to be saved in. So I've got a folder down here. Let's go to, let's create a new folder. So the top right hand side, you click new folder, click cache. Well, I've typed my folder to be cache. And then where it says file, what you can type anything you want. I'm just going to type flip, and then dot, and then you do $f dot bgo.sc, just like so. That'll then save the $f. Is pretty much, it's there to add on every frame. If you don't have that on there, it'll just keep replacing. So when it gets frame 1, 2, 3, number 2 will replace number 1. So you'll only have one file. But if you have $f, it will save them all separately. So I will not save that just yet. Actually, I will save the first couple of frames. I'll probably save it to maybe frame like 30 to 50, around in that area, just so we've got a little bit of cache. And then we'll move on to actually adding the white water particles. So here we have the cached simulation. I probably did about, what was that, almost 65 frames. Pretty much caching, if you guys don't know, is that the simulation gets saved somewhere on your computer in a hard drive somewhere, and then Houdini will read that simulation from the hard drive and just play it in here, instead of it being re-simulated every single time slowing down your computer. We're going to move on to be doing some white water. So start by clicking tab and clicking white water source. If you then view the white water source, you'll see that everything disappears apart from probably a tiny, if you're a few frames ahead. If you're frame 1, nothing's there. So after your cache, scrub a few frames along, you can see this little, it's like volumetrics start appearing. That is a good sign, a very, very, very good sign. So for now, we are not going to touch anything else in the white water source. We're going to leave that for now. Next, you click tab, type white, and go over to white water solver. If you actually get, if you're loose, you got a loose node in your mouse here, just hover right up close to it, and some lines will appear just like that. If you click, it'll then add those lines with the node. As you can see, I'm currently frame 43, so it's trying to cook from frame 0 or frame 1 to 43. I'll leave it for now so you guys can see what the white water solver does. Oh no, look at that. Whoa. Anyway, so yeah, let's sort this out. So white water solver, we're viewing it. So to sort this out, another thing you gotta do is just make it a bit easier. Move the box into a different location, just like that, and drag the container output. So it's this blue, well, it's actually input. Grab the input of the white water source, the blue one, drag it up to the box. It just adds a little container for the white water particles. So a few little settings to change in the white water solver node is the white water scale. So change that. I'd put it to 0.02. Voxel size to 0.2. So, and then head over to the forces tab. We're going to change the base advection strength just put it on 100, and then head over to the foam tab, and on the constraint stiffness, change that to 10. If you then scroll down to the repellents little section down here, change the feature size range from 0.5 to 0.02, and then 0.1. And if you scroll down just a little bit more to, there's a little advanced tab just here. Click the drop down and then click match radius distribution. And there we have it. So let's just play that through. And as you can see, white water particles are appearing. That's good, good, good. So the next thing I would do after this, some people would actually cache the white water source separately from the white water solver. They do it individually. But what I tend to do is just add another file cache node just after the white water solver, so leave these two bare like this. Get a file cache node, change it from constructed to explicit again. Click on that little icon just there to cache it out where you want it to go. And what I'm going to do is create a new folder and type white water, and then do it again, white water, and then $f.bgo.sc. And then we can then cache out the white water particles separately. And hopefully we'll have a good result at the end of it. Oh yes, and another little thing to help with the viewport. It'll probably look like this when you're trying to play through your simulation. Don't worry, just underneath this little icon just down in the left, there's a little clock icon. Just click that, make sure that's blue. Then that'll just play nice and smoothly and slowly for you. So those are the cached white water particles. If you zoom in a bit, they're literally just little particles, just like so. And what we can actually do is create a mesh from the liquid simulation itself. So what you can do is drag the flip simulation cache just down here. You can do a bit of organizing if you want. You don't really have to, but flip simulation. From that, go to type fluid compress. There we go. So just after it, fluid compress, all you got to do is change the particle separation to 0.03. And then, as once again, you could just duplicate. If you hold down Alt and drag from another node, it just duplicates it. So from here, let's do flip. Just type in compress instead. It doesn't really matter as you're going to change it. I'm going to copy that name, go up here, and just change it to, oh no, get rid of that one, just like that. So that's going to be another cache, just a few frames of the fluid compress node. So cache that again, and there we are, flip compress node complete. Next thing to do is type particle and go down to particle fluid surface. This is where we are meshing our nice little simulation. Don't worry guys, it looks a bit crap at the minute, but we're going to change that. So first few settings, so particle separation is 0.03, just like the same as the rest. You can see the little feet of the character we've got. If we actually just play this through just ever so slightly, you'll see it start to move just like so. There we are. So there you go. That's just a simulation, but we're just meshing it for now. Influence scale, put that to 2. To be honest, guys, all these settings you could change yourself. I'm just going to give you the basics, and the droplet scale we're going to do 0.5. So droplet scale gives it a bit more higher quality. All these settings give it a bit more higher quality, but on our final one, on our final render, it'll be the highest quality possible. But first, what we're going to do, guys, is go up to the flip container, and actually, if you right-click in this little section with the numbers, right-click in there and click copy parameter. And if you go down to the fluid compress, right-click again in the number section and click paste relative reference. So that will pretty much link this flip container, that setting, down to the fluid compress, and also go down here, right-click into this box and paste relative reference once again. They all just are now linked together. So if I just change it to be just a bit higher, don't want to mess around with the sim, it'll change everything. It'll be 0.04. So another little tip in this particle fluid surface node is down at the bottom, visualize. You can visualize the velocity. So if I skip it a few frames again. So the higher the velocity in the movement, the whiter the mesh will get. What you can also do is go to the surface polygon soup and actually go to particles, and you can then view the particles just like normal. But as we are meshing it, go to surface polygons And there we go. And once again, if you just get one of these file caches all the way at the bottom and do flip, mesh, copy that again, I'm actually going to go inside and create a new folder that is just called mesh, and flip underscore mesh dot $f dot bgo dot sc. There we are. There is that all ready to go for caching. So that is pretty much it for the SOP level of the Houdini simulation. What we do is I'm going to cache this first little bit of mesh out, and then we are going to move on to the actual rendering stage of this tutorial. And there we go. A nice little cached out simulation. As you can see, it moves a lot, moves very good. And what you can do, just again, drag down the merge node. If you hold Y on your keyboard, it will come up with this little scissor icon. That will then be able to cut through one of the lines, and then drag that in, and you have both of the meshed simulation and the character as well. They should all line up perfectly because that's just how it is. They all should line up. Beautiful, beautiful, just like so. You can see he's kicked that water all the way along. If there's any issues, guys, with the velocity scale on the collision, you could also change that. All these settings you can change yourself. Don't worry, you don't have to follow what I'm saying. But now let's move on to the rendering. We're going to be rendering in Karma today. Just like all the tutorials, I'm going to try and do everything in Karma. But the first steps, again, the first / last steps of the rendering is with the Whitewater Solver. So the last few nodes I want you guys to do is drag from this and type an attribute. So you type attri create and get an attribute create node. And then from here, what I want you to do is to go into the name section and type density. And that pretty much just gives it a density attribute. And what we're going to use that for is to make a volume out of these particles. And the next node is the volume rasterize attributes node. And then in the drop down where it has the attribute section, drop down, go to density. And then voxel scale, you don't have to link it to anything, just 0.015. And then the next node to add is a VDB combine with a VDB analysis node. If you click that one, hold shift, click the other node and type merge, and you're going to add a merge. If you guys see me switching these inputs around, what you're going to do is click on the merge, click on the little blue up arrow there, and it will switch them across. So what I want you guys to do is go into the VDB combine node, change that input, the A multiplier, to -1, and then type name equals density in the group A node, in the group A section up here. Then in the VDB analysis node, click on the keep incoming VDB names and type custom name, and it's going to be gradient. Just like so. And then all you're going to do is just add a null, type null. In here is going to be Whitewater out. And you guys have probably noticed that this isn't actually working, so go to the attribute create node, and the value down here needs to be 1. And boom, there we are. We have a nice little VDB right here. So it doesn't look like it will look more like this. Then it'll look like that. Nice little bright particles. So what we're going to do again is to actually go to the flip mesh, just add a null coming out of there. If you just type mesh underscore out, if you just click spacebar, it'll actually just add the underscores itself. And get rid of that one. And then also, if you want to null out the character. Just like so. That should be everything. And now let's move to the Karma render settings. So to get there, if you go, you see the OBJ. If you hold left click down, then head over to the stage level. It'll take a minute to load, but here we have a little blank section. So to start off with, you click tab and type SOP and click SOP import. The first thing we're actually going to bring in is the mesh, the liquid mesh, and there we go, it's brought back in. And then just rename that to mesh, duplicate the SOP import, go over here and get the character, and then once again, if you change that to character, and this final one is going to be the Whitewater particles. If you just type WW, obviously that will be Whitewater. So again, If you click D when you're on the viewport and change it to dark mode, you can see then the whitewater particles a bit easier. So what to do here is to grab all these little dots, click tab and click merge again. All this is very similar to the object level. There are a few things that are different, like the SOP import can be changed in the object level to object merge, stuff like that. But this is what we're doing. We're bringing the items, the objects and the mesh all from the SOP level. That's what the object level is. So we merge them all together. And there we go. There they are. You can just about see the whitewater particles just there, but we'll leave that for now. So after the merge, actually, if you type Karma and it says Karma Setup, if you just click Tab, it'll add the Karma render settings node, just like so. The next thing I want you guys to do is to create an environment light and plug that in right in the middle of the merge and the Karma render settings node. And with this environment light, you can then add your own HDR eyes. So I am just going to grab one from the internet on Polyhaven. I recommend Polyhaven to anyone. It is amazing. It's the best place to get these HDR eyes. They're all free as well, so free to use. And once you've downloaded it, just locate it wherever it is in your downloads folder. And there we go. Nice little HDR eye, just like so. So another thing to add is the camera. So if you just type, actually, the better way to actually do that, you can obviously click tab and type camera, or if you position your viewport where you'd like it, I'll probably just leave it about there. If you click no cam next to the perspective icon just there, and then click new camera, and it will place the camera right on there. And if you want to move around, so obviously you can see it's red. This means the camera view is locked. That means you can move the camera around freely in the viewport. If you don't want it to do that, click this little lock icon and then you can move again and you'll be outside of the camera view. As you can see, the camera is just around this area, just there. There it is. There's the camera. But you can go in and out by clicking no cam and camera 1, just like so. Whilst we're in the camera view, if you click Shift F and F again, you'll get this little blue, little transparent overlay on top of it. If you go over to the View and Sampling tab, come back to the View tab in just a second. The Sampling tab. If you take the focal distance up, you can start to see the blue. There's a blue line over our little simulation. Don't worry about that. If you then move across, so this is just pretty much, I'm giving you a nice little focal point. It'll make the render look a lot more realistic. Another little trick, if you seem like, so you drag this along and it's like, oh, it's hitting the end of there. Don't worry. If you hold the middle mouse button over the number, it will come up with this little options thing here, and you can hover over any of these decimals and options, the numbers or whatever you want, and you just increase it a bit more, or you can type. So I'm going to leave it to be about there, or you can obviously type like 15 or whatever you want to put in it. I'm going to leave mine at 12 for now. And then once again, just click Shift F and it will get rid of it. I'm going to move this camera back up to the top just like so. View that like that. And what you can do now is to go to Perspective, Karma XPU. And there we go. It's nicely rendered. Look at that. Beautiful. No, I'm kidding. So as you can see, this is a little like render view. You can see it's trying to render it, all the light bounces and everything. But we're not done there. We've not even added materials just yet. So let's drag that down. What I want you guys to do is add a material library node. And then just after that, a material linker node. Plug them both in. And you could dive into the material library, double click into it. If you then click tab and type Karma, and then go to Karma Material Builder. Dive inside of that once again. All you got to do is head over to the MTLX standard surface. Head over to the transmission drop down and put the transmission to 1. As you can see, nothing's happening just yet. What you can do is rename that to just water. Head over to the stage, material linker. As you can see, we have materials, water. Drag that over to the mesh. And there you go. The water shader is now on there. But what we can do to make it even better, you can see it's all like glassy and that's very good. But what you can do is get the SOP import mesh, hold Alt, drag it across, and then just type water, vol. So I'll show you a little trick to get the nice little water volume. It's like volumetric color. If you then click tab and type ocean, Houdini procedural ocean. So once you've got this node, scroll down a bit to see shading, interior material, click this little arrow icon. So head over to Karma Ocean Interior, there's two, I'll just go for the bottom one. Control C, head back over to the stage, then head over into Material Library and then click Control V. There it is. Head back over to the stage, Material Linker, Karma Ocean Interior, Water Vol. There we are. It's now working. If you want to see it a bit easier, you can also just change the colour to whatever you want. I've got look, there's a nice red colour. It's pretty much giving the interior of the water just a nice, well, it gives it a nice bit of colour, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to be a little like browny colour, maybe a bit of blue actually. If I change it to be like a blue. Really depends on what you guys want. I'm going to, just for visualization, going to change that. You can also change the volume density, so that's what it usually is on, but you could change it to whatever you want. If you click 5, it'll be a very, very like densely shaded water simulation, but that's fine if that's the look you're going for. 10, even more dense. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do 4, and this will also help with visualizing the white water particles as well. So I will probably just leave it like that, maybe add a bit more color. Yeah, just like so. There we go. So the next step is to add a shader for the white water particles. So let's go back into the material library, click tab, and what I like to do is to type pyro and go down to pyro smoke material, and then get that on the material linker. So Karma pyro smoke material on the white water. That'll make the white water particles go really like dark. Don't worry about that. Head back over into the Karma smoke material. Click on the Karma pyro shader, change that to be white all the way across. That'll then update it to be white. There you go. You guys can see it a bit more. And what you could do is I'll probably put that on 5. There you go. Nice. Obviously, this is made for fire. I'm not sure if it'll give fire because there's no attributes for fire. But don't worry about any of these ones. In one of my next tutorials, I will be looking at pyro simulations. So don't worry. But for now, we're going to be focusing on the liquid sim. If I put it on frame 46, it should be cached out. As you can see, we have a simulation. If I go into the camera, there we go, some liquid and white water particles. Another thing to do is to change the shadow density down to 0. Let's see what the smoke brightness does as well. There we go, we might actually put that on maybe just a 2. Makes the white water particles a bit brighter. Actually, no, maybe 1.5. I like seeing it, but that's alright. If you guys got any other method, if anyone knows any method of Karma XPU white water shader, you let me know down in the comments, but this is what I would do normally. And pretty much that is it, set up, ready to be rendered. So if you go into the Karma render settings node, change from CPU parameters to XPU parameters, what you can do is actually set width, computer height from camera, click change that to be manual, click the drop down, click HDTV 9020x1080. Some little settings within this node. You can also go to limits. If you type 1 in the volume limits, that should increase the white water particle to be a bit brighter. It makes it just a little bit brighter on the volume limit anyway. Camera effects. Enable depth of field is already on. Motion blur is on, but it won't do anything. Velocity blur. Change that to be velocity blur. That'll just give a bit more motion blur within the final result. You guys don't have to do this, but to make your results more realistic, this is the way to go. Denoiser. If you go to image, I'm going to put filters, no denoiser right here. Click on NVIDIA Optics Denoiser. That'll obviously denoise your scene. And also what I'm going to do slightly is to go, when I'm in the camera view, I'm just going to move the camera out just a bit more, just so we can see the entire simulation in full when it's fully rendered. So guys, for the final render, what I'm going to do is go into the flip container and change it to be 1.5. And that'll increase. So if I go into the flip solver, let me just get rid of that and go to frame 1. what that should do is then update it to be a very high quality simulation, like so. You can see all the particles are much closer together, much denser. And head down and just check all these settings just in here, just to see if that all works well for the sim. So yeah, that's 015. Particle fluid surface, I might change a few settings just in here to make it a bit high quality. The higher the quality, obviously, the better looking simulation you'll have. So I'll probably put droplet scale down to probably, let's just go down to 0.4. And once I have got all these cached out, and then I'll be rendering this scene. So make sure to recache out everything. It's just a lot better for the final sim. It'll make the rendering process a lot quicker as well.